Where do you think the name operators come from? Does it have something to do with an operation of some sort? Well, the answer is yes. Operators are used to perform operations on variables and values. An operator is used to manipulate individual data items and return a result. For example, you may already be familiar with the assignment operator to assign a value to a variable. You use assignment operators for simple and complex calculations. They provide us with similar options to those on a calculator. In this video, you will learn about assignment and logical operators and how to use them in JavaScript. First, let's start with the assignment operators which you can use to perform simple arithmetic. For example, to add two numbers, you can use the addition operator, which is represented by the plus symbol. If you want to subtract values, use the minus operator, which is represented by the hyphen symbol. If you want to perform division, for example, 35 divided by 5, use the division operator, which is represented by the /. Finally, to multiply numbers, use the multiplication operator, which is represented by the star symbol. In addition to assignment operators, you can also use comparison operators, which compares and returns a logical value based on whether the comparison is true. For example, you can compare numbers to check if they are greater than, less than, equal, or not equal to each other. You will learn more about the various assignment and comparison operators later in this course, but for now, let me tell you about logical operators. Logical operators are used in JavaScript to determine if something is true or false. For example, the logical operator named AND, which you can use to check the two or more conditions are true. Imagine you had a variable named a, and you wanted to check that its value is greater than 5 and less than 10. For this to be satisfied, both statements must be true. Alternatively, there is the operator named OR, which checks for at least one of the statements to be true. For example, a is greater than 5 or a is greater than 10. Finally, you can use the logical operator NOT, which returns a false value if the result is true. Operators are used to control the flow of a program that meets certain criteria. Now let me demonstrate how to use JavaScript math and logical operators. Okay, so I've opened VS Code here, and now let me demonstrate how you can use arithmetic and comparison operators in JavaScript. Recall that comments are used to specify which lines JavaScript should ignore. As you learned earlier, you can put almost anything inside comments. Notice I have two multi-line comments. The first one lists some arithmetic operators, and the second one lists some comparison operators. I also have several single-line comments. You already learned that JavaScript completely ignores comments, and here's the proof. I click on the Run Code icon. Notice that the output in the right panel will not show any values other than the expected additional info on the code that was run. Let me clear that for now and show you how to work with some arithmetic and comparison operators. I'm going to uncomment all single-line comments from lines 14 to 21, so that you can focus on each of these console logs separately. This will then allow me to demonstrate how each of these operators behaves. So let me delete the two // on line 14 and rerun this file. Notice I get the value of 4 outputted to the console, resulting from adding the values 2 plus 2. Okay, let me clear the console, comment line 14 and uncomment line 15. This is an example of adding multiple numbers using the plus operator. Notice when I run this, I get the output of 15. Let's do another one using the subtraction operator to subtract 18 from 20. If I run this, I get the expected output of 2. Next is multiplication, which is represented by the asterisk symbol. Here I will console.log the values of 2 times 3 to get the value of 6. On line 18, I use the / symbol for the division of 8 by 1. And notice when I run this, a value of 8 is outputted. Success! And that's it for performing simple arithmetic in JavaScript. Okay, let me clear my screen again. Now I want to demonstrate how to work with comparison operators. Notice on line 19, I use the greater than symbol to check if 3 is greater than 2. Run it, and indeed it is. I get an output of true. On line 20, I use the greater than symbol to check if 2 is greater than 3. And since it's not, I receive an output of false. These words true and false are special kinds of values used in JavaScript. Don't worry too much about them now, as you will learn more about this later. For now, I just want you to focus on the final line of code. This checks if one value is equal to another value. It's important to remember that you need to use the equal symbol twice for this comparison operator to be valid. This is because the single equal symbol is used for the assignment operator, like when you assign a value to a variable. Okay, so I would expect the value of 10 to be equal to 10, so let's run it to find out. And it is. Notice a value of true is outputted to the console. Congratulations! You have now learned how to work with operators in JavaScript. This is a must-have skill in your development toolkit, as they are used in many areas of programming. Great work!